Inside Story Uganda, real source of political updates. Inside Story Uganda.
Omukulu njogedde ku nsonga ya poliisi n'ogamba
anti abasoma psychology tebaliiwo. Problemu yammwe teri ggwanga lyabayigirize asa abayigirize baba balya ssente. You will not solve any problem.
Okay.
Let me tell you, why should soldiers deployed to protect the government dance with the disgruntled people in countries like Malawi and other countries jemulaba amajenga gazina n'abajaasi n'abantu ba bulijjo government ne gagijjako? Because Karl Marx gundi yakugamba Nikoli Malichiveri yakugamba. When I read the political philosophers, I read them in their environment, their time, and why they reasoned. Nti Machiveri bw'omusoma mu analyzing. But scholars bonna bw'obasoma oba analyzing. Machiveri, unlike other scholars, other philosophers, Machiveri worked in the Italian government.
Okay.
So when you read Machiveri, tafanana Karl Marx, who blamed everything on capitalism. Machiveri is more informed. Yaliko mu government ya Italy, n'agivaamu n'awandiika akatabo ako The Prince ng'ayagala ate government yemuwa omulimu. N'awandiika akatabo akatinze ba philosophers. Machiveri yakugamba, if you want to subdue your population, the police must be filled by foreigners.
If you want to subdue your population,
if you are looking for an effective police, get foreigners who are recruiting police. But the natives cannot beat their fellow natives because whatever affects them also.
Chitufu.
If you want the army, put there the nationals. Foreigners don't die for foreign countries. Singa Kasirye Gwanga abadde we yali kugambye nti Abasudani abaali babonyabonya abantu mu gavumenti ya Amin. Olutalo bwe lwajja badduka. A person cannot die unless he is a mercenary. At that time when Machiveri wrote his book The Prince, there was no the hiring of mercenaries yaliwo. Machiveri akuwa ekyokulabirako n'agamba the Italian army used the foreigners to defend one of the Italian capitals, cities called Florence. But because a foreigner cannot die for a foreign country, they abandoned Florence to the enemy. Kati abapoliisi abo bemusindika bakuba abantu bakazi baabwe bakolawo ne baga nti Musisi ayinza okusuula gavumenti ya Museveni nga Museveni yamuwaana. Why? Wazalendo is the biggest circle in Uganda. It dwarfs some commercial banks. But when the soldiers borrow money, they give it to their wives. A soldier depends on mama, the one who invests. So if you lock up markets, are you not affecting the soldier himself?
Era abakyala ba poliisi abasinga bali mu butale be balina obudala ku makubo balaba wali waffe nakawa ku barracks bebokyeza ku kasooli balinga ennyaanya bakola biki
an effective lockdown mugende mbafuuze amasanyalaze masasule basasula amasanyalaze. How can you have rationing rationing in the barracks za police. Bakazi baabwe batunda ki? Ono gw'osindika akuba abantu. Yo wino gyakola tewamugadde kubanga bw'ogamba ti abakazi abatunda ebintu mu wino basigaleyo n'okuba abatambula. These are contradictions.
Mzee Tamale, owino bamulese muggule nakasero muggule abantu bakedde genda mu butale bakubiddwa kibooko bagawonedde okuba nti bagende kati waki butale buggule.
Ati kati kyenkubooza Museveni baatuma okukola ebintu byo basanyufu.
Bagamba nti mugende mu enforcing amateeka ago.
Abo tebazina n'abantu abo era the more weddire bajja kuzina n'abantu. The more you delay COVID.
Mzee Tamale, beera mulambulukufu. What do you mean? The more you delay bajja kuzina n'abantu.
Ati also era bali yenguzi motoka zitambula kati. Eno yo total failure. Abantu
emotoka zoko makubo jam traffic akyali ndomo ngawo yabadde.
Abantu bakoye obusuma. People tired of obusuma. I'm telling you.
Bodabodas are working.
President yakozesa nnyo Bible. Naye nasoma divinity. Bible etubuulira omwana eyajjanga n'akuba enduulu nti omusege gundya. Abantu bamudduukirira but when the omusege came tebadduukira baali bamukooye. You see, when you lock down, people ask, why are we not seeing lockdown in Rwanda? Why are we not seeing lockdowns in Tanzania? Why are we not seeing lockdowns
in Kenya?
In Kenya.
I think it's about worse than ours
here
in Kenya.
Nabagamba tosobola kubba abantu bali wamu. Even the allegations tiba pastor bafere singa bali bafere singa kyaki teziriyo mulimu baakolera ne biyitamu obusamize yali eddiini ya Buganda ey'ennono era what people don't know Abaganda baali bamanyi Katonda omu ng'essabu lya Katonda liri mu ggulu emukono. Katonda omu baali bamumanyi. When the Bazungu came baalwanyisa amasabo ne bagookya ne gadda mu bitanda munda. Why did they survive the strong colonial government? Nga nakati abasiriki weebali they provide service. Singa byali bifu
singa byasaanawo dda.
Yes, people get fed up. What these people don't know. Abantu bakuyi.
Mzee Tamale.
Ate omuntu bw'aba disparate. Abaganda bagamba nti manye bino byonna byaliwo. Let me tell you. Me am a very honest man. Very honest.
That's why people like you.
Let me tell you, is it the first time for Museveni to handle issues involving the population?
No.
Museveni cut off Katonga. Katonga and established a government in Masaka headed by Chigongo to take over the liberated areas that stretched from Masaka, Mbalala, Kasese. These were liberated areas. Why did the population accept? Provided essential commodities bakwate mwanyi Masaka Cooperative Union banyankole kweterana ne bazitwala e Rwanda ne bagula essential commodities. Sendawula was Minister of Finance in the Chigongo government. Era bwe yaleeta toilet paper bamutuma Minister of Toilet Papers. At that time these people did not see the importance of toilet papers. Cover it for me lifestyles. Failure to access and the need are different. But because he gave hope to the population that the war was progressing, he established a training camp at Irwengo, and every time both in those liberated areas and people in Kampala saw it as a temporary sacrifice. Abaana bayingidde, abaana bajja. Had no problem. Museveni again, na tunulira Northern Uganda, nga Konyalumba villages, natta abantu n'abakidnapping. Museveni established camps for the ordinary people to isolate them from the rebels, to stop capturing them. Babattako ne babafumba ne babasiba ne padlocks. Opposition ne baleeta suggestion. Northern Uganda should be put under UN observe. Nga kyebategeeza Uganda ebeere under UN ng'emmotoka ezigendereza Red Cross. Museveni refused. He brought a UN representative, the former president of Mozambique. Why? He also brought combat helicopters. Sente baziba naye yaleeta abazirayiri baziteekawo. Why? Yagamba nze ndasibako ne president million tejja kuttako ne myezi 6. Yagamba the problem is mobility. We are moving on foot, and the rebels are moving on foot. How would we take an age to solve this problem? Yaleta combat helicopters. Obote refused to bring combat helicopters in Ruwero. A suggestion was brought forward. He refused. Museveni defended the combat helicopters. Tebezikuba mu ba rebels, people scatter, and the army can rescue these people. His strategy in Northern Uganda worked. Kony was defeated. The people went back to their villages, and like the Ruwero people, they even went with their sheets. Your success yakumeka. Where Museveni has done things
with the population
that involve large populations and succeeded. Museveni in 83, Obote naita North Korean commandos, naleta Tanzanian advanced training team, and the usual shameless British sent there, brought to us an advanced British training team to train Obote's army. Ne batraininga abantu emitwalo 3 under the command of Lieutenant Colonel Ogole. To solve Museveni's menace in Ruwero once and for all. What did Museveni do when he was surrounded in Ruwero? He said, we cannot defend this large population at the same time when we are tackling the advancing Obote troops under Ogole. Go back, denounce us until olutalo lutulemye. Kati how you this? Era this led to Obote's people like Rwakasisi, Samuel Mugwisa, and Paulo Muwanga organized deceptive victories to Lutalo Museveni Lumulemi. He got his space, took advantage of the spread, the wide spread Obote soldiers, hit them, demoralized them, and they overthrew their government in 1985. It worked. Museveni brought the system of getting essential commodities through LCs. He was opposed. He succeeded. Lawyers opposed the handling of justice by LCs who never went to school. Museveni succeeded. Nobody can remove the system. What these people did in CA to change them from resistance councils to local councils. Kakati, have HIV. Museveni defeated an entrenched theory that it was witchcraft. I normally say that if he had come earlier, Museveni not defeating the five killer diseases put up UNEP. What do these successes share in common to a researcher like me? One, people had hope. Museveni had no Basuma. Museveni was not a hostage of anybody. Today Museveni is a hostage.
Mzee Tamale, njala tu obere clear. Museveni is a hostage.
Yes.
Amuani amuani.
Musenirandi group.
By the way,
and this is an area where we have made a mistake. Celebrated scientists have patents. They have their journals. I want somebody to tell me a patent that belongs to Musenero and the end of Museveni's scientists.
We have dasoma ekiwanduko nga installing a lockdown eno. Yagambi I'm just a mere puppet of Musenero and group.
Another successful challenges I've enumerated. Museveni was not a hostage. This is where the problem is. There were no Basuma. Because Museveni started this Jeturo Kinga Natukola Tutia.
Mzee Tamale, the essence of the first lockdown, what stopping us the spread of Yakauka,
because for me, I left the president's speech disappointed. I knew.
Not you alone,
I told my children, and for the first time, my man has no solution.
For the first time, I wakiriza. Ochirabye leti bingi nje badde bigana.
Mukino talina solution. Why? When you see Museveni attribution nti bano Musenero n'agejja wanudde bajja banoonya temwafeekinga nga figures ne mukola mutya mufune 3.5 ate nze mbalaba ayiwokiremu era nze ninze ekintu kimu luli tumwebaze gundi omukyala akingi negundi bagende wa president ne bampaabirayo. Today I want Musenero or anybody to challenge me, the 117, Mbalagi recorded tapes where they are planning to share money. That's 3.5 trillion. Let anybody challenge him. Tugende fene uwe. Bakubemba wani kubuguru.
Obukakafu obuyina.
Bakubemba wani kubuguru. Let anybody nti program za muzijjako. Wajjoke. Bemba mwaso omutwe. Bino bimwakoze nti simanyi kalisa yalagira abantu bonna. Kalisa yafuga TV zonna. Afuge ye. Era bali boti ati mumwita mweka. If you spend money ku program ku TV ezitalabwa, then you are wasting your money. Is like buying a drug that is not effective. Ezange temujja zirinyako.
True.
Yes, ezange tebajja zirinyako. Naye wabewagala ko program emu ni citing abantu. People are tired.
Ija kitufu abantu bakowe.
Abantu bakowe. Musebe ne bamwadde goodwill etuse weko.
Yeah, kitufu. I concur with you. People are tired.
Because unless abaganda bagati kiziko katuchogerereko owebbango tumulage ne Museveni yennyini akkiriza nti byakola tibiriyo. Why? Let me tell you. Okutegeera bamusenero abo ne tiimu ye. And these people are timid. My children, one of my children, everybody in my family was ringing me. Have you been arrested? Arrested for what? Nobody can arrest me. Kakati kambabuulize nti never medical doctors batukoze bubi.
Yeah.
Nakuba mwanje ne mujjawo. Ne Musenero nja mukuba. I'm telling you.
Mr. Tamale.
Kakati kankubuulize. Nti medical doctors balowooza nti Musenero yavudde mu ggulu.
Ali special.
Ne bagamba nti omuntu yenna Museveni gwawaana bamafiya mwe bayingira. Era nze am on record. Kati sikoze newspaper review.
Yeah.
Ne kankusomera akatabo kange. COVID mafias.
Yeah.
Ne bagamba nti ba mafias balinga obugundi obuto. Obukimu obuto. My grandfather told me yesterday about a fierce fire that he guarded a forest. Then an old monkeys gathered to discuss their future if the whole forest was destroyed. Meanwhile, the baby monkeys on the other hand were shouting on top of their voices, praying to God for the red flames to approach so that they could play with it. They obviously couldn't realize the danger the fire posed. Their main interest was the attractiveness of the flames of the fire and the sound it was making while it destroyed the grass and shrubs. Nembagamba nti bano balinga bukima buto. Ekibira bwe kikwata omuliro bukima buto bwagala kulaba flames. Ninga ekimenka district, whenever we get a calamity in Uganda, the mafia celebrate to take advantage of the calamity.
Baba wafunye wakulira.
Baba wafunye wakulira.
Ebefuse business.
Yes, nabagamba. In many cases, mafias conducted themselves more like baby monkeys. Mafia look at challenges to the country in terms of monetary benefits and forget the dangers that may arise from calamities. Take the example of HIV, which hit Uganda in the 70s. Nenkuga furthermore, Uganda hosted an international conference on refugees where almost $1 billion was raised, but not spared by the corrupt mafia. The numbers of refugees was inflated and the money was stolen. In the recent invasion of locusts in East Africa, and despite the destruction and the threat the locusts posed to the countries, the mafia looked at the invasion as an opportunity to steal money. Unlike mafia group, Bobuli Wambafuna.
Yeah.
Bobuli Wambakolachi?
Bafuna.
Naye enzige tezatta abantu. Enzige could kill people after starvation nga ziridde biki?
Nga ziridde bimere.
Ba refugees bali tebatukwatako naye bayokya n'obuma bwa kasooli mu kiseyi bafune monopoly.
Yeah.
Era bwe byayaka omunyampi omusoga gwe baagoba nawandika akatabo the politics of the banyampi waliwo afuuna n'akiwaayiriza omulala the politics of the banyampi. Kakati naye nkugamba nti Gundi nabagamba mukompeyalinga amawanga abiri. You see, if the president thinks that COVID is a disease, COVID cannot be. COVID is a disease that has political implications. And that's why, if we want to defeat COVID, you must apply both medical and political mobilization. If you use Musenero without a political activist, you're finished. Akalolo kajje enkoko ku magi. Kalolo katono naye omuganda akuganda kajje enkoko ku magi n'edduka.
Kituufu.
Any country that looks at COVID-19
as a disease only
is making a very big mistake. We would have the medical team eyabatalina kye balyakoze inflated, the inflated scientists and the political scientists.
Okay.
COVID can only be defeated when you have both
political
activists, those who did the political economy and the political science, and the medics, because it has a political impact. It has a political impact.
Okay.
If you don't combine the two and you bring them seneros,
owedde
kutaka akalolo kajja kukuba enkoko ku magi. People cannot be pushed back every time 14 days, 90 days, 60 days. When the problem is not solved.
Wanganya okupoza question yange. Question yange eri eti. Lwaki essence ya lockdown eyokubiri eri luddawa?
Eriwa.
What is the essence of the lockdown?
Anti nkubulya ne gamba. Nti lukwate China. Nababulya ne mbagamba. Nti abachina bajja ku defeating akawuka kano by using their experience in politics and their in fact tibatandikana abachina tibatandikana na kulwanyisa kawuka kuba ne dokita yakazula baga bamuttirawo katandikira eri mu kibuga omuli industries zaabwe
Wuhan.
Abachina ne bakola ne sente empya within a very short time.
Okay.
Abachina balina discipline gye mutayinamu. Abachina tebayinza kukola kintu mwe banaalya sente. That's why the Chinese bobo batunuulira balina policy ya companies
bili.
Company ya government terya ngozi, company ya private terya ngozi. Era olunaku lumu president abafere bamutwala mu bank ng'ebbaluwa tebagitwala mu Exim Bank, bagitwala mu company erya ngozi yagibawandiisizaawo awo. Your Excellency, we need to go to no here. Nabagamba mu Luganda nti ono omusajja gwe mutadde wano banka eno esinza Uganda sente wano nikoliko gatala agafere olala gamutwala mu nnyonyi n'agenda e Malaysia nga waliwo company fake eyagala okugula UCB nga Westmond Asia kagifudde Westmond Lands ye Kenya yagula UCB ne gamuteeka mu nnyonyi ulagamuteeka mu nnyonyi nga gagamba Tanzania eganye sukali mafuguli agenda okebera sukali nga we Brazil nagamba no ye wono siyo gatudde gati kakati if you have such a type etatya kuswaza mukulembeze that's a deadly type kakati nkugamba nti China teyasooka nakozesa measures za gundi kuba it is alleged nti yakazuula yennyini abakomeresi bamubuuza gulaki wakazudde Abamerica tebasooka nagamba Trump yagalidde Chinese disease owa Italy naga Chinese movie bonga balowooza abachina ne bakakwata ne bakasukira abachina within a very short time. In fact, I was talking to one of my programs in Embagam until the way Africans conducted themselves is laughable. Why? Kenya had stored masks. They sold them to China.
Kenya.
Enyonyi za China zajja ne zitwala masks eziri Kenya. Abamawuli abaliviringa babakwata as they usually do, as if when you saw somebody biba bivuddewo. Kakati nabaga nti China tekajja gigoya nnyo era tekagigoyezza. China
tekajikasibuka
because they used political activism and their experience. Nabagamba in 1848 the Chinese faced the Anglo-Chinese War, Opium War, which the British won, forced the vanquished Chinese to use opium. Nembagamba. When the defeated forces fled to Taiwan in 1947, successive governments in America poured billions of dollars to sustain Taiwan against China. After World War II, US President made a false prediction that if the Chinese moved to develop nuclear weapons, he said all of them would go naked. They didn't. The Chinese proved him wrong. The development and China became a member of the Security Council after detonating the nuclear bomb. Taiwan and Asia, both are steady. They have a mixture of capitalism and era neewunya bwe twagenda ne president e China batulambuza an automated factory ekola soda nembuuza what is the purpose nti China esobola okubeera nga yina unemployment ey'amaanyi ng'ate yina ne automation. It was a combination of the two. Nti bayina communism waabwe but they are moving at their speed. They have trained their people balinga ba North Korea nti tusobola kuba inciting kukola riots Morodinga. Is different countries tozisobola. Kakati negamba nti I have always argued that China has developed faster than India, which has a bigger number of its population, educated. Now, India has more educated people than China. But why has China developed more faster than India? Because of their history and the way they manage issues. Negamba, this can be further explained by the following. India is engaged in a cold war with Pakistan, which has forced it to invest more in defense in order to maintain a military edge over its rivals. Currently, both India and Pakistan are nuclear powers. Number 2, rampant and stinking corruption in India affects its development. Number 3, China does not operate under elective democracy, whereas India is the largest democracy. Before a decision that affects many people in India is made, India leaders must consider the election calendar first. India's unity has been undermined by sectarian interests and weak government arising out of political alliances. On the other hand, China is under a dictatorship. Parliament in China with its 4,000 MPs is just a rubber stamp, yet the Indian parliament is vibrant. They declared even their president, life president, a king. China has managed to control riots and strikes that undermine the implementation of unpopular government policies, which at times are beneficial to the country's development. Given the above factors, China was able to handle the coronavirus simply and promptly. its government was at liberty to implement unpopular measures like shutting down cities, isolating victims and constructing isolation centers within a very short time. Both the leadership and the ordinary people in China looked at the epidemic as a danger to the economy, international standing and status. In such situations, the state can throw whatever they have or do anything to preserve their state. However, many countries, Africa and Europe, thought coronavirus was a problem to China alone. Majority of these countries took time to employ tough measures to combat the virus. Unlike the examples I have outlined above, including HIV, refugees, and locusts, coronavirus attacked the economies which are the heart of government. Instead of looking at human death, governments had to concentrate more on perfecting the economy. More importantly, the Chinese defeated the virus without a cure. The Chinese used organizational methods which cannot be transferred to other countries affected by the. As I pointed out earlier, China was prepared for such hard times. At one point, China closed its borders and its local industries could produce goods that were competitive on the international market. Another important factor is that being the second largest economy in the whole world, China's market for goods attracted traders. Kakati baba akatunulira emirundi echi
ebiri
bagala kutta economy yaffe. We cannot accept this. 2, political standing. How can the Communist Party say that we have been defeated by akalolo? Kubaba China bachimanyi titebayina maanyi tebayina ki gasobola kusilencinga resistance for a long time. Knowledge they provide the solution, quick solution. Kakati wano kasa president yetikawo national task force, the first one eyakalolo okulutu abantu bataddeyo emmotoka goodwill bano balowooza nti enzige sotitamu tibiriiwo.
Mu lockdown yasooka twayigiramu ki?
Tewali kye twayigiramu anti baziyita nzige. Kakati katuzeeyo kakati ate tugenda kubeera ddala bubi. Omanyi lwaki?
Nedda.
There are 3 factors.
Okay.
Simanyi abo bye baasoma. I don't know whether. I normally talk to my children. I have lawyers, I have doctors, I have psychologists, ngono ajja wano, ne agriculturists. And unlike my father, nze nsobola okwogera n'abantu I face challenges. I listen to them, except I'm a very tough man.
Okay.
I was having a fierce meeting with them. Nti waliwo agenda okuwasa, but I'm sticking myself to only 20 people. And I will send there a person to count the 20 before I go there. Kuba bagambye nti mmwe bajja balimba nti poliisi ebakkiriza naki nga banoonya nze. Nti Mirundi defied MUSEVENI orders. There must be 20 people and I must, before you go, my intelligence will find out wali bebakwese walala. That's Mirundi. Naye bwe mbatunulira bonna, a person who never did the political science and logic and the propaganda is dangerous.
How?
I'm telling you. Kuba kakati bo bano because Museveni sijja mu district asingako, he admitted. And when you see Museveni humbling himself, you know he's running away from responsibility.
I'm just a mere puppet.
When you see Museveni humbling himself,
kasuka gye bali.
You are going to take a future responsibility. Museveni has escaped.
Akyeyambudde.
Ffe mawulire tugamba attribution. According to Tonkwata. This scientist say, waliwo mwanje yagejja n'olubuto ne lugejja. No. In the future, if it is revealed that you used to sex numbers, mujja kuduka emisinde wano ng'abalya ssente baddusi. Baka kati kankoboole. Museveni has achieved 90% public awareness. Yes, because they listen to him.
Yeah, true.
The only person Ugandans can listen to is Museveni. Why? Has proved that Museveni is a leader. Abajankole bakuga nti nnyoko bw'akuwa ekibya mu nzikiza olya buli. tebamulabangako nti Museveni is a businessman. This is the goodwill abo bamusenero gye babusinga.
Okay.
Nti Museveni, people will start not listening to him. Wanafuka puppet, a hostage. Why should I listen to Museveni, a hostage, not listen to Museveni?
Kitegeza byempuliriza si bibye.
Yes.
Wasiwuliriza ono mwennyini alimuwadde.
Kyekibi nti omusawo omuganda omugolako oti ekibanja waga nti jjajja muwanga yaliko. Wano bakwata kayira. Bakwata abatta kayira ne babatwala mu kkooti babakwatira mu ssabo. Ne baga nti muleete jjajja ayogere. Abasajja ne bagamba abalamuzi ti atulage nti ali possessed. Kubanga atasobola kukikola. Kubanga ye teyabalabye.
Kituufu.
Ye teyabalabye muwange yabadde
kajja
ayogere. Kakati nze mbagamba ti the Museveni I know and I've been defending and who has been defending me has received 80% public awareness.
Nemze Tamale president statement zakola naberanga ye mwenye yagala okulabisa banne aina statement yakoze naga nti yagamba banne nga being a good leader I was following what was going on in other countries nalabe cyali Italy nalabe cyali wa nenda banga tutage bitanda emitwale na 12
Museveni akotega
nagamba bano nabaga baziteke uninga sizirabangako
musenero kati wa kitalo nnyo musenero olubuto luyingira baseka naye miranga muzaliro. Kakati nkugamba nti Museveni has achieved 80% public awareness. Bible batukwasa amateeka 10 aga Musa. Tewali bali muliro
bangi.
Yes. Mmwe ekulani yammwe tekubulya musiramu byasaana kola
byonna
mu jahana mankalu
yajjudde.
Why?
Yatuva ku mulamu.
Kakati ne bwe tubanga tukyayina abali stubborn abaganye to implement what I call Museveni's slap okuteeka ebiragiro bya Museveni mu nkola. How many are they?
Bangi.
Batono.
Abaganye okuteeka ebiragiro Museveni.
In fact, this team confused Museveni. Why? Do you know that people were putting on masks? All of these taxi drivers and border people, we are implementing all of these measures to ensure that Museveni does not send them back to Totolokoda.
True.
Let Musenero make a research to those who have been selling masks and those who have been selling sanitizers where the market is high. It has dropped.
Yeah.
Because the whole thing was done to what? The whole thing. What if you postpone your wedding? Ate bye mbadde genda okolewako okunyiriza embago lw'abagole mu bikola. Mu mass communication tukiyita adverse impact.
Mzee Tamale.
President, yeah. Today, to me, we would build on this. People needed to improve because Museveni was blackmailing the population. It is that if you don't implement this, I will do this. Kati kyabadde abakangiramu nakyo kikoze eki kiweddewo tukubire musenero tumukubireko mu ngalo tukubireko musenero mu ngalo ne tiimu ye
abalatuga masinga munakola kino okubambaza mu ngalo
n'abaganda tukati gwe mwana gwe bw'otasirika ngenda kukanyugira empisa ekulye. Yes.
Ate omwana asirise ate mu empisa
nekubulira ekyokubiri egamba nti what's the cause of death today?
Mzee Tamale tugenda kutuukawo
anti kyenkubulira let us assume that the people had ignored Museveni's directives as this Museveni team wants to convince the president. Today we have a vaccine. Today we don't have oxygen, which means the person who defied Museveni's directives could be saved by a vaccine and an oxygen. Musenero tumukubireko mu ngalo. Musenero believes because I cannot attack the president. The president sent me to Musenero when he said I'm a hostage. Museveni tuina baba nukachiko kaba nukabetenda
tuteke mu bananga tuteke mu buongo lockdown yaziddwawo bani ba Musenero yesterday yabadde very clear I'm a puppet.
Let me tell you, let us ask if this man defied Museveni's directives in the earlier phase, we would blame this man that he
Yes.
has committed suicide. Unfortunately, today we have a vaccine that has been tested on prominent people. Tetunalaba yafa. Owa Anglikani bamugema. Afende Muhozi bamugema. Muzeeyi Museveni bamugema. Kakati kitegeeza eyekola. Unless nga tebabagema ntuufu. Kakati in the presence of a vaccine, what's the purpose of the lockdown? Because even those who have divided Mbagamba, nti n'abazungu bennyini mbatunuuli. Bayinza bagamba nti waliwo omuyaga ogujja ne biremerayo abali stubborn. Bano abali mu jahannama. Kubanga the argument is Omuganda yafa nga talabye ku minsane ali mu muliro. Katonda amujajingira kuki? Kuki yali tannabangako?
Mungu takunenya kucho wali tomanyi.
Yes. Kakati kyembuusa. Tuvunaana kaakati tuvunaana ani?
Eyabaza amateeka.
Anti mu ddwaliro temuli ddagala. Oxygen taliyo. Kati who is killing people?
Atabiteekayo.
Anti kyenkubuulira. Ate bakoze ensobi mmwe kambabuulire basajja mmwe. You are going to incite the population in these 3 ways. One, don't trade insults. Okugamba nti waliwo eyaweebwa ssente aleeta oxygen nti gwe olwanyisa ono mu bantu. What if that person is better is reasons like me? Nenkugamba nti oxygen yaggwawo ezo ze zaali ssente ezo. Because the issue of oxygen is abruptly. Who was not looking in akakati mukyala wakubuulira nti why akawunga nga kaweddewo kino nga kiweddewo. Where the ministers, people in the Ministry of Health to monitor that ono gwe mutuleetedde tali wase ssente ezo. Why do I receive in the store things that are not equivalent to the amount of
my money?
Ekitegeeza whoever talks in government about a company that was allegedly given oxygen nti yetuviiriddeko is stupid. Ne kumbaga batu yogera kati oba osirikira eddala. Two, ulira, kati nkubuulira nti trading accusations will not help. Because mugenda kwevuma mwogere nti omusajja akubye mukazi we. Omusajja n'amugamba, omukazi n'agamba bba oli muli w'abafu. Ekyalo kiwuliriza naye ntubuuza ate ani abadde abafumba? Yes. If the woman accuses the husband of cannibalism, then she has also implicated herself.
Nange mwendi.
Anti ani abalira ku muliraano.
Era gwe wafumba.
Kakati you people, my son has told me, just be following, nti a senior minister official in health said, nti those people, a company that was given money to bring oxygen did not do it, but I'm not responsible. You were stupid. Why? You did not alert the public. What if this person who brought oxygen tells you, what sent you when narrator? Yes, tugeze wedding. Mukakati mu mnywa soda abasiramu. Naye bakristians banywa omwenge. Lwaki okkiriza n'ogamba nti ssebo kuleeteza bbiya wagula nkaaga. Naye omuntu yaleeta kuleeti aga olutalo luli ku mwenge. Omanyi lwaki abatamiivu batugamba mu psychology ne mu politics nti a devil will always defend himself in the Bible. Tikasooka ogamba omusajja omutamiivu nti onywa omwenge galavono. Yesu teyagukola ku mbaga y'ekaana ate n'akola mu kanyu ogwayombya kawasa n'omutegesi w'embaga nti amateeka g'embaga gagamba osooka kuleeta mukaka kati gwe ate gumuka gusembeezaayo nga n'abagenyi bagenzi. Kakati kyegamba nti when you are trading insults, when you are running away from blame, abantu bo babategeera nti ne kampuni gye mugamba allegedly temwagiwa okuleeta oxygen yo yaani. Yo yaani gwayogera oli waani. It ends up in your home. You are inciting the population against yourselves. Because it does not help you. Like this woman who says you were cannibal. And the public will say, yes, the man will fire back. Yes, I don't deny. But who cooks?
Who cooks the meat?
The meat.
number one ogambye zisatu
yes ekyokusatu before the president addressed the nation I was at Chibule's place ewuwe
former minister
Chibule mwagala nnyo people were going to incite him to do whatever you were young Chibule you were younger man Museveni tasulangako bantu be naye coach ayinza okugandika soko
tuleko ku bench
yes era akutestinga tinze for 8 years babadde bamwenyabonyeza nnyo nti bakole kino but for me manyi ti one day alitegeera nti omusajja osi mubi ankoledde nnyo one day kubanga evidence comes out kakati nkugamba to the second point I was watching the president before the president came amawulire agasoose abantu babadde bagalindiridde mwabaddemu eddagala eribbe
bwe kiri enansa naawo
could the two why was the public first informed by nation television eri behind somebody mu first family ne Kalisa naye ayina first family gyalimu group gyalimu kakati njagala ombuulire what was the purpose what did this nation television want to achieve and Museveni did not address the use of stolen drugs
no yakikonye
naye babadde bamugamba nti ebyo byagenda okwogera byonna talini touch n'eddagala bali mu bbako
bali balaga bunafu bwe
yes nti eddagala balikola ki
bali mu bbako
gwe walabyeyo for up story
no
walabyeko gwe bakutenga aliyize you arrest those national people obabuuze where do you get this story if a person an innocent an ordinary woman in Nansana can be found with a stock of drugs yeyasoose okuliba
worth 1 billion
yeyasoose okuliba
eddagala libibwa bikaseera
yes kakati oba eddagala libibwa bikaseera oyo yabadde apulipeyiringa ki ono yaleese eddagala balirage nga poliisi bwe yakutte eddagala eribbe nga Museveni agenda okwogera that was intended
in broad daylight
to undermine Museveni's speech nti oyo tabalimba
eddagala tebiriyo
eddagala bano balibbye
eddagala
balimutwalako era in fact president bali mu briefings nayogera ku ddagala eribbe naga nti I've seen somewhere but I'm investigating if anybody is involved in stealing drugs nenkyane babayolerawo
awo no bana bamukubye ejjooba
anti nkubuulidde nti bantu bamanyi mass communication
kituufu
government temanyi that's why they fear me nti me nasoma logic nasoma propaganda nasoma political science ne political economy nti fete tuli abo atamanyi omukazi oyo ali out of touch abakola mu Kampala enyama bajeewola lwaggulo engege ne bazeewola olweggulo ennyanya ne bazeewola olweggulo abamu baleka n'akatogo bakafumbye
yes balekako ebijanjaalo
president yagambye buga nti enkya temukola ne bajja bataasa emmere ne bakubwa
emiggo
once you use medical solutions to solve COVID-19 without considering the political implications of your directive, COVID-19 can turn into a kalolo, and a kalolo kagoba enkoko ku magi. Kakati kankubuuza bwe bagenda mu Europe after nga COVID yamaze okubagoya, did they elect the Italian Prime Minister? Eyakazanyira COVID became ruling on the performance of government. Yatwala Trump.
Bwekiri.
COVID yakutwala because it has an impact, an adverse impact on society. It has an adverse impact. Kakati kankubuuza oxygen kumwogerako kakati waliwo oxygas kakati okumanya abasajja babazibu ate oxygen bamuguze Kenya yeyitakolangako naffe byetukola bakuletera embeera in a crisis. The cannibals came up. If we wanted to see the cannibals, 3 cops. Kasaka cannibals bagasulidde cops. Negagule dagali oxygen yemula. Nega cannibals agali embale negagamba. Ours has cracked. Era nako abamissionary bagita missionary style. Missionary style bazungu be bagireeta wano. The ordinary Muganda was not using that sex style. bazungu bebagirira nti a couple must face each other kati buli omu afuuwa covid amufuuwa mu munne n'atalifunye singa munyina good scientist abasoma psychology bamusenero kasa Museveni amwogerako nga Nakalema n'agejjanga ekiteeteeyi nga tekikyamutuuka why does Nakalema raid abayiga kakati another factor yeya exorbitant treatment 5 million per day
tugenda kujja waawo bera Quest TV tova tugenda tudda n'ensonga endala nyinyi muzeta matwale mu mbozi waliwo ensonga etambula era nga bangi message muzinfindikira nzira mungamba nti muzeta mali mutugambire nti mbutuufu abantu badde sokubanga malali mtu agenda mu ddwaliro bamuwamba bwambi kati buli agendayo wa accident wa musujja afuka covid kitegeeza namba bazinflatinga kikibagobera okuba nti baba omuntu buli enamba zibe nnyingi nnyo wakiba kyaga ekyo bakikola muzeta majja kubatubulira waawo era ndabye nga nakyakikonyeeko kati mulemu kati